Okay, so today we're going to go and figure out how we can persist data using an IoT sensor in Noodle and display the data in Noodle. So we're going to be using a Python server as well, so we can add some extra business logic in. You don't have to do that, and I'll go through the steps as we go along. So we're going to be using shifter.io. This will be our MQTT server. So if you go to shifter.io, register, follow the process, you should get to this. If not, you can read. Noodle does have a MQTT guide. The reason I'm using Shifter is because they recommend Shifter. They have some documentation on Shifter. So once that's done, we're going to need an IoT device. So I'm going to use Wokwi to simulate my IoT device. So instead of having an actual ESP32 IoT device, I'm just going to use their online simulator. So they do have a nice project that exists already. So the weather logger, if you want, you can just use that. I've modified, don't worry about the MQTT password. This will come from shifter.io, and I will be deleting the token after this recording. So I connect to Shifter. As I make changes, I'm going to post those changes to MQTT. I also have a replit. So the replit is going to emulate a Python server. And this is just going to act as the intermediary between Noodle and my IoT device. So we're going to use MQTT again. We're going to listen to messages. And we're going to subscribe to the sensor updates. So every time I make a change here, I'm going to publish my sensor updates. And that will get listened to by the subscriber. We'll get the message. On the message, we're going to post it to a function that I've created in Noodle, which will save it to my Noodle server, my Noodle database. So let's get those two things up and running. So let's start the simulator. Connecting to the Wi-Fi. Connecting to the MQTT server. Okay, we're connected, and we just sent an update that the humidity was 55 and the temperature is -13. Welcome to Canadian winter. With spring approaching, we can increase the temperature. As we make the change, it reads the change and sends the message over to our shifter.io. But our Python's not running, so let's start our Python server up now. So we're connected. Now we're going to send another update. You can see we have our two clients, and we just saw the sensor update message got sent to C29, which is our Python. And we can see we got the updates here, which means we can now move over to Noodle. So let's refresh our table. We now have our updates in our database. Let's just go and make another update. So let's drop the temperature back down. It might take a while because I have too much stuff running. Let's refresh. Okay, so we got it, -7. So that's getting into the sensor updates. How do we get it there? I created a very simple cloud function. For this, I've let unauthenticated. You might want to use authenticated. We just take the information, send it to our create new record, and then return a response of success or failure. And that becomes my server function sensor endpoints. Again, I'll be deleting this endpoint after this recording. Okay, so that's it. So now we have just the final thing, and that's to display it on the screen. So let's go to our pages, our playground. I have created a query where the log time is less than my start date, log time is greater than my end date, refresh to display the data, 2 date pickers, button, and a repeater. So I'm going to say anything between yesterday and tomorrow. And now we have our two records, our temperature of 45 degrees 26 at this timestamp. I'm not going to go and clean it up. I'll let you guys do that. So I just wanted to post this quick video on how to persist IoT data into Noodle and display it on some form of dashboard.